Welcome back, dear listener. Last night, we left Luna standing at a threshold between two worlds, the moonlit forest behind her and a garden of impossible dreams ahead. Tonight, we step through that flowering archway together and discover what wonders await in the garden of forgotten dreams. Settle comfortably, let your breathing slow and deepen, and let's continue our journey. Luna stepped through the archway, and the world transformed. The garden stretched before her, vast in ways that defied the geography of the forest she knew. It rolled away in gentle hills and valleys, with paths winding between beds of flowers unlike any she had ever seen. The golden light she glimpsed from outside came from everywhere and nowhere, not from the moon, which still hung in the sky above, but from the garden itself, from the very air and earth and plants. Luna stood still for a long moment, simply breathing it in. The scent was overwhelming in the most wonderful way. Honey and rain and cinnamon and roses and 1,000 other fragrances, all blending into something that made her think of every comforting smell she'd ever known. It was a scent of home and adventure combined, of safety and possibility. The flowers were extraordinary. Each one was unique, and Luna realized with start that each one was a dream that someone, somewhere, had forgotten upon waking. Luna stepped through the archway, and the world transformed. The garden stretched before her, vast in ways that defied the geography of the forest she knew. It rolled away in gentle hills and valleys, with paths winding between beds of flowers unlike any she had ever seen. The golden light she glimpsed from outside came from everywhere and nowhere, not from the moon, which still hung in the sky above, but from the garden itself, from the very air and earth and plants. Luna stood still for a long moment, simply breathing it in. The scent was overwhelming in the most wonderful way. Honey and rain and cinnamon and roses and 1,000 other fragrances, all blending into something that made her think of every comforting smell she'd ever known. It was a scent of home and adventure combined, of safety and possibility. The flowers were extraordinary. Each one was unique, and Luna realized with start that each one was a dream that someone, somewhere, had forgotten upon waking. The nearest flower looked like a tiny house, complete with windows that glowed with warm yellow light. Luna bent down to look closer and could see miniature rooms inside. A kitchen with a pot bubbling on a stove, a bedroom with a quilt-covered bed, a reading nook with books and a comfortable chair. It was a dream of home, of safety, of belonging. Someone had dreamed this and then forgotten it. But here it lived on, perfect and preserved. Next to it grew a flower shaped like a musical note. Actually, several flowers shaped like different notes, grow in a cluster. As Luna moved closer, she heard them humming, each one a different pitch, together creating a gentle melody that reminded her of a lullaby her grandmother used to sing when Luna was very small. Beyond those were flowers that shifted colors like oil on water, their petals moving through shades of blue and purple and green and gold. Luna watched one for several moments, mesmerized, and realized she could almost see images in the color shifts. A person dancing, or maybe running, or maybe transforming into something else entirely. These were dreams of change, of becoming, of transformation. There were flowers shaped like stars, Flowers that look like tiny landscapes with mountains and valleys, all contained within petals no larger than Luna's hand. Flowers that seem to be made of crystallized time, their surfaces showing different hours of the day simultaneously. Some flowers grew in clusters, creating gardens within the garden. Others stood alone, solitary and proud. Some reached toward the sky on tall stalks, while others hugged the ground, spreading wide. And everywhere, between the flowers, the paths wound in gentle curves. They were made of something that looked like crushed pearls or moonlight solidified into gravel, and they glowed softly, making it easy to see even the areas where the golden light was dimmer. Luna began to walk, drawn forward by curiosity and wonder. Each step revealed new marvels. She passed a section where all the flowers were transparent, like glass sculptures, and inside each one she could see scenes playing out. A child learning to ride a bicycle, a couple dancing at their wedding, an elderly person sitting peacefully in a garden watching butterflies. These are memory dreams. A voice said from behind her, and Luna turned quickly, her heart jumping. But the voice was gentle, and when Luna saw it spoken, her surprise turned to quiet awe. Standing on the path was a figure unlike anyone Luna had ever seen. They were neither young nor old. Their face held both the smoothness of youth and the wisdom of great age simultaneously. They were neither clearly male nor female, but something that transcended such categories. They wore robes that seemed to be woven from twilight itself. Fabric that was all the colors of sunset and dawn and midnight combined, shifting as they moved. "Welcome, Luna," the figure said, smiling warmly. "We've been expecting you." "You know my name?" Luna asked, finding her voice after a moment of speechless wonder. "Your grandmother sent word you're coming," the keeper replied, their voice like wind through grass, constant, soothing, ancient, not in any way you might expect. Dream weavers and dream keepers share certain connections. I felt her weaving a dream for you last night, a dream of encouragement and blessing for your journey. Some of it was meant for you to remember. Some of it was meant to announce your arrival here. The keeper stepped closer, and Luna could see their eyes. They were the color of storm clouds and starlight combined, deep and knowing and kind. "I am the keeper of this garden," they continued, gesturing around at the countless dream flowers. "I tend the dreams that people leave behind when they wake and forget. I make sure they're cared for, that they don't wither entirely, that they have a place to exist even though their dreamers have moved on." "How long have you been here?" Luna asked. The keeper smiled, a touch of sadness in their expression. "Time works differently in this place. I've been here for, let's say, a very long time. Long enough to see generations of dreams come and go, to watch as the types of dreams people have changed with the ages, to learn each flower's story and personality." "Personality?" Luna repeated. "The dreams have personalities?" "Of course," the keeper said, as if this should be obvious. "Every dream is unique, shaped by the dreamer's mind, their experiences, their hopes and fears and memories. Come, let me show you." The keeper led Luna along one of the pearl-like paths, walking with fluid grace that made their twilight robes ripple like water. They stopped beside a cluster of small blue flowers that looked like tiny doors, each one slightly different from the others. These are adventure dreams, the keeper explained. Dreams where people explored unknown places, opened doors to new worlds, discovered hidden passages and secret gardens. This one here, they gestured to a flower with a door painted bright red, belonged to a child who dreamed of finding a door to the back of her closet that led to a world where animals could talk and seasons never changed. Luna knelt down and chanted, looking closely at the red door. She could almost see it opening, could almost glimpse the world beyond. Snow-covered forest and a lamppost glowing in the distance. She never remembered this dream. Luna asked softly. She woke up, stretched, and went down to breakfast, and the dream slipped away like morning mist, the keeper said. But here it remains, opening and closing, the world beyond it forever preserved. Sometimes I walk through it myself, when I need to remember what wonder feels like through a child's eyes. They moved on, the keeper pointing out different sections of the garden and explaining what dreams grew there. Over there, they indicated a grove of tall flowers with petals like pages of books. Our story dreams. Dreams where people live through entire narratives, complete with beginnings, middles, and ends. Some of these contain tales more beautiful than any written book, but the dreamers forgot them before they could write them down. Luna saw one flower with pages that seemed to be written in golden ink, and another where the pages turned themselves, as if an invisible reader was moving through the story. And there, the keeper continued, pointing to a section where flowers grew in perfect spirals and geometric patterns, are the mathematical dreams, the dreams of scientists and architects and puzzle solvers who worked out problems in their sleep but forgot the solutions upon waking. That one there, they indicated a flower shaped like an intricate knot that seemed to fold in on itself impossibly, contains a solution to a mathematical problem that a young scholar dreamed 50 years ago. If she'd remembered it, she might have changed her field of study entirely. That seems sad, Luna said. All these beautiful things, these important things, forgotten? The keeper nodded, guiding Luna to a stone bench beneath a large tree with silver leaves. The tree stood in the center of the garden, and something about it seemed older than everything else, more fundamental. It is sad, the keeper agreed, settling onto the bench and inviting Luna to sit beside them. But it's also the nature of dreams. People dream thousands of dreams across their lifetimes. If they remembered them all, their minds would be cluttered beyond function. Forgetting is natural, even necessary. Then why does this garden exist? Luna asked, if forgetting is natural, why preserve the dreams here? The keeper looked at her with those storming starlight eyes, and Luna felt seen in a way she'd rarely experienced, truly understood. Because, the keeper said gently, even though forgetting is necessary, the dreams themselves have value. They're creations of the human mind and heart, works of art and imagination. They deserve to exist somewhere, to be witnessed and appreciated, even if their original dreamers don't remember them. Think of this garden as a library for forgotten stories, a museum for lost art, a sanctuary for abandoned possibilities. Luna understood. She thought of all the dreams she herself had forgotten. How many might be here in this garden, flowers she walked past without recognizing as her own creations? Are any of my dreams here? She asked. Many, the keeper replied. Would you like to see some of them? Luna hesitated, then shook her head. Not yet. I think I'd like to learn about the garden first, to understand how it works before I explore my own forgotten dreams. The keeper smiled approvingly. A wise choice. Understanding the whole before examining particular parts is the mark of a thoughtful mind. Come then, let me teach you about tending the garden. After all, that's partly why you're here. To learn, to see if this work calls to you as dream weaving called to your grandmother. The keeper stood and beckoned Luna to follow. They walked to a small shed made of woven willow branches. Its door painted with symbols Luna didn't recognize, but that seemed to pulse with gentle magic. The keeper opened the door and retrieved two items. A watering can made of what looked like crystallized starlight, transparent and glowing faintly from within, and a pair of soft gloves that shimmer like fish scales. First lesson, the keeper said, handing Luna the gloves. Dream flowers are delicate but also powerful. They respond to touch, to intention, to emotion. These gloves will protect both you and them, preventing you from being overwhelmed by the dream's intensity, while also ensuring you don't accidentally damage them with too strong contact. Luna pulled on the gloves. They fit perfectly warm and soft against her skin, and she could still feel through them. The texture of things, the temperature, but there was a gentle buffer, like touching the world through silk. The keeper filled the crystallized watering can from a well near the shed. The water that flowed out shimmered silver, and Luna could see tiny points of light moving within it like fireflies. This is dream water, the keeper explained. It's drawn from the same source that nourishes all dreams, the deep well of the unconscious mind, the place where symbols and archetypes swim like fish in an ocean. When you water the dream flowers with this, you're giving them sustenance, helping them maintain their vitality. The keeper demonstrated, gently tipping the watering can over a cluster of small yellow flowers that looked like miniature suns. As the water touched them, the flowers seemed to glow brighter, their petals opening wider, and Luna heard what sounded like laughter. Children's laughter, joyful and free. These are happiness dreams, the keeper said. Simple dreams of joy, of playing, of pure contentment. They're some of the most common in the garden, and also some of the most important to maintain. When the world feels heavy, I come and tend these flowers, and their laughter reminds me that humans are capable of such simple, pure joy. The keeper handed the watering can to Luna. Now you try. Go slowly, gently. Listen to the flowers as you water them. They'll tell you if they need more, or if they've had enough. Luna approached a different section of the garden, where larger flowers grew. These ones shaped like open windows, each frame containing a different view. A beach at sunset, a mountain peak above clouds, a city street at night with rain glistening on cobblestones. She tipped the watering can carefully, letting the silver dream water flow onto the soil around the window flowers. As the water touched the earth, The flowers seemed to sigh with contentment, and the views in their windows became clearer, more vivid. Luna could smell salt air from a beach window, feel the cold clarity of high altitude from the mountain window, hear the gentle patter of rain from the city window. These are wanderlust dreams, Luna whispered, understanding instinctively. Dreams of travel, of seeing new places. Yes, the keeper said, pleased. You have a gift for reading dreams that will serve you well if you choose to work with them. In whatever capacity calls to you, they move through the garden. The keeper teaching Luna how to care for different types of dreams. Some needed only water, others needed pruning, carefully removing petals that had faded beyond recovery, making room for new growth. Some needed to be relocated, transplanted to better soil, where they could thrive alongside compatible dream neighbors. Luna learned that nightmare flowers existed too, but they were kept in a separate section of the garden, surrounded by protective barriers of lavender and rosemary. Nightmares serve a purpose, the keeper explains as they walked past the barrier. Luna could see dark flowers beyond it, twisted and thorny, but somehow still beautiful in their own stark way. They help people process fear, work through trauma, prepare for dangers, but they can be overwhelming, so we keep them contained. I tend them with care, just as I do the pleasant dreams, because all dreams deserve attention. As Luna worked, learning the rhythms of garden care, she felt something shifting inside herself. This work was different from what her grandmother did, weaving new dreams versus tending forgotten ones, but there was a similar quality to it. Both required patience, attention, gentleness. Both were acts of caring for something precious and fragile. How do you decide which dreams to focus on? Luna asked as they paused for rest beside a burbling fountain whose water ran uphill, defying gravity in a way only dream logic allowed. I listen, the keeper replied. Some dreams call out more loudly than others. Some are fading and need immediate care. Some are growing too vigorously and need be contained. And some, they smiled softly. Some are simply beautiful, and I tend them for the joy of witnessing their beauty. Luna understood. She felt it herself while watering the flowers. Certain ones seemed to draw her attention, to ask for her care in ways she couldn't quite articulate, but could definitely feel. As the moon moved across the sky, still slowly, as if reluctant to let this night end, the keeper led Luna to different sections of the garden, sharing the stories behind particular dreams. This flower here, the keeper said, stopping beside a large bloom that looked like a wedding cake, complete with tiny sugar roses, belonged to a woman who dreamed of her wedding day 2 weeks before it happened. In her dream, everything was perfect. The weather, the ceremony, the joy. When she woke, she remembered only the feeling of happiness, not the specific details. Then her actual wedding day came, and it rained, and small things went wrong as they always do in real life. She was disappointed that it didn't match the perfection she couldn't quite remember from her dream. Luna looked at the wedding cake flower, seeing in its delicate frosting perfection the woman had dreamed. Did she ever remember the dream? No, the keeper said, but the dream remains here, a testament to her hopes and imagination. And perhaps, in some ways she doesn't consciously know, the feeling of that dream wedding still brings her comfort when she thinks back on her actual wedding day. They moved to a different area where clusters of small, intricate flowers grew. Each one looked like a miniature machine with moving parts, gears and wheels that turn in mesmerizing patterns. These are invention dreams, the keeper explained. Dreams where people's minds solve mechanical or creative problems, design new devices, imagine innovations. This 1 inch, they point to a flower with brass-colored gears, was dreamed by an engineer in the 1800s. In his dream, he solved a problem with steam engine design that would have revolutionized train travel. But he forgot it upon waking, and the innovation was never made in the waking world. That seems like such a loss, Luna said. Perhaps, the keeper mused, or perhaps the world wasn't ready for that particular innovation. Perhaps if he'd remembered and built it, it would have caused unforeseen problems. We can't know. All we can do is preserve the dream itself, honor the creativity that birthed it. They walked on, past flowers shaped like musical instruments that played themselves with invisible hands. Past flowers that looked like books with stories written in languages Luna couldn't read. Past flowers that seemed to contain entire ecosystems. Tiny forests and oceans and deserts all existing in perfect miniature. Luna saw flowers she recognized as children's dreams. Bright, simple, filled with impossible things rendered with perfect seriousness. She saw complex adult dreams full of symbols and metaphors. She saw elderly people's dreams that mixed memory and imagination until the two were inseparable. Every human who has ever lived has contributed to this garden, the keeper said, gesturing at the vast expanse of dream flowers stretching to the horizon. Every forgotten dream finds its way here eventually. The garden is ancient beyond measure and will exist as long as humans dream. They came to a section where the flowers grew wild and tangled, without the organized beds and paths that characterize most of the garden. Here, dreams that merged together, creating hybrid plants that combined elements from multiple dreamers. Sometimes, the keeper explained, when many people dream similar things, archetypal dreams of flying, of falling, of being chased, of showing up unprepared for an examination, those dreams pool together here, creating something larger than any individual dream. These merged dreams have a collective quality, touching on shared human experiences. Luna saw a massive flower that looked like a combination of thousands of different flying dreams, wings of every type, from bird feathers to dragon membranes to mechanical contraptions to simply floating on air. It was chaotic but magnificent, a monument to humanity's eternal desire to transcend gravity. This garden, Luna said slowly, trying to put her feelings into words, is like a portrait of the human mind, isn't it? All the things we hope and fear and imagine, all preserved here. The keeper nodded, clearly pleased by Luna's insight. Exactly. The garden is a mirror, showing us who we are in our most unguarded moments, when our conscious minds relax and our deeper selves emerge. By tending these dreams, I'm preserving a record of human imagination across all time. The keeper finally led Luna back to the center of the garden. to the great tree with silver leaves that Luna had noticed when she first arrived. "This," the keeper said, placing a hand on the tree's trunk with obvious affection, "is the heart of the garden. This tree is special. It's the oldest dream in existence, the very first forgotten dream for the very first dreamer." Luna looked up at the massive tree, its branches spreading wide overhead, its silver leaves rustling in a breeze she couldn't feel. The trunk was enormous, wider than her grandmother's entire cottage, and its bark was marked with patterns that might have been natural grain or might have been ancient symbols. It was hard to tell. What was the dream about? Luna asked in a hushed voice, feeling she was in the presence of something sacred. "No one knows," the keeper replied. "It's been so long that the dream has transformed beyond its original form. It's become something more than a single dream. It's become the source that nourishes all the others, the foundation on which this entire garden grows." They walked around the tree's circumference, Luna trailing her gloved hand along the warm bark. "The tree has a gift," the keeper said, stopping at a particular spot where the roots created a natural seat. "If you sit here, lean against its trunk, and close your eyes, the tree will show you one of your own forgotten dreams, one that exists somewhere in this garden, waiting for you to remember it." Luna felt a flutter in her chest, anticipation mixed with something like nervousness. Will it be a good dream or a nightmare? "The tree shows you what you need to see," the keeper replied. "What will serve you most in this moment? It might be joyful, it might be sad, it might be strange, but it will be yours and it will be true." Luna looked at the natural seat formed by the roots, then back at the keeper. "Should I? Is it safe?" "Completely safe," the keeper assured her. "The tree is gentle, and the dream is already yours. You're simply being reunited with something you forgot. There's no danger in remembering." Luna took a deep breath and settled herself against the tree trunk, fitting into the root seat as if it had been made for her specifically. The bark was warm against her back, and she could feel a subtle pulse. Was it the tree's heartbeat, or her own, or perhaps the rhythm of all dreams flowing through this ancient being? "Close your eyes," the keeper said softly. "Breathe slowly. Let the tree's memory become yours again." Luna closed her eyes, letting the sounds of the garden fade. The whisper of flowers, the distant music of dream songs, the keeper's gentle breathing nearby, and slowly, in the darkness behind her eyelids, images began to form. What Luna saw in that recovered dream, what memory the ancient Willow returned to her, and how it would change her understanding of herself and her path forward, that, dear listener, is a story for tomorrow night. For now, rest here with Luna, her back against the oldest dream in the world, on the edge of remembering something precious she'd forgotten. Let yourself drift, knowing that your own forgotten dreams are preserved somewhere, tended by careful hands, waiting for the moment you might remember them again. Sleep well. Tomorrow we'll discover what the tree reveals, and we'll follow Luna on the final part of her journey. Sweet dreams. End of part 2. To be concluded in part 3, The Willow's Gift.